Hello everyone, it is currently 14:09 at on the 4th of February 2025. Tuesday. Tuesday. It's been an alright day. hmm One thing I want to talk about is obsession. So, when I was in elementary school, middle school, high school, I thought that the type of love that I experienced was obsessive love. Like I would think and think about someone over and over again, but I didn't. I labeled that in my emotions as obsessive love. That quality of thinking about someone from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep, catering my actions to their, what would you say, like doing things in order to please them or to get into their good graces, the good graces of the people that I was emotionally attached to. Now I guess you could call it like a more clear evaluation of the feeling is infatuation. Infatuation with certain individuals. Um, it's something that, like I said, it's been going on since I was in elementary school, all the way up until high school now. Um, but other than that, I don't really feel any other type of love. I don't think. Like, I don't really feel familial love, platonic love. I mean, I would do things for friends, but I wouldn't say that I love them. I don't know. Then again, love is a very hard thing to classify, just because it's such a subjective experience. Love, but when it came to infatuation, when it came to infatuation, what are some? Well, okay, so when I was around them, I would get. How would you? I couldn't stop thinking about the people that I was attached to when I was infatuated with them. Like my drive in life would be to either be with them or please them in some way. Like what I used to do during middle school, I'll tell one story. So during middle school, in seventh grade, I had a crush on this girl, and it was a form of infatuation, I would say, just because it centered around like sexual activity, my thoughts, and having some sort of um, rom I wouldn't necessarily say romantic, but definitely like sexual relationship. But then I found out that she was hmm. Well, anyways, I guess I won't really talk about that. Well, no, I'll talk more into. I'll go more into it. Like so I found out that she was homosexual, and yet when it comes to love, you would think that love would be selfless. Like you would, the ideal, I guess, my ideal form of love is a selfless sort of love in which you prioritize the other person's needs and wants over your own needs and wants. But yeah, when I found out that she was a homosexual, I really didn't. I mean, I would say that I was very uncaring, unsympathetic to how she felt. So I wouldn't say that I loved her. I'd say I was more infatuated with her, just because I had that level of not being able to stop thinking about her, always prioritizing, like, it was more based on my pleasure, the pleasure that I got from being around her, rather than an altruistic sort of love where I would be trying to center myself and my actions around their own happiness. Um, that just wasn't the way it was with this girl, this person. I would give them things every day. Like, I gave them candy a lot. I gave them drinks a lot. I would walk them home. I would talk to them all the time on the internet, and we got like pretty close. So we got pretty close on the internet, talking to each other. I think that was the first girl I've ever really gotten close to. One of the few women that I've ever gotten close to in my life. But I wasn't thinking clearly. I was prioritizing. Well, I guess I didn't really understand. No, I understood what I was doing. I prioritized my own pleasure over her like happiness because I started doing stupid shit around her. Like, I would caress her face. I would sit next to her on the bus every single day. I walked her home when she didn't want me to be around her. She like I did a bunch of things that intruded upon her own personal um just made her feel like shit, the things that I was doing, because I was basically like forcing her into a hetero relationship when really should not have been doing that. If anything, I should have been cultivating our friendship, but yet I let my own subjective pleasure get in the way of I what I now think is important. Back then, I was very upset by her actions, very upset by her actions. Um, because she wanted to distance herself from me, and yet I felt so attached to her. That was the thing. I was very attached to her. I'm gonna go get a water. Hold on. Very attached to her, and I cared more about my own comfort, my own pleasure, than I did about her happiness. To the point where I made her miserable. And I bring that up as an example of infatuation and the kind of feelings that I have in regards to love. I wouldn't say that, like I said before, I wouldn't say that I experienced platonic love. I wouldn't say I really experienced romantic love or anything like that. But then again, I'm not quite sure because my own experience of it might, the way that I express my feelings, I could feel some sort of love or something like that, but I'm not able to easily identify it within my emotional spectrum. So it's definitely I need to learn more about emotional intelligence. Is that a fly? Fly flew away. I need to learn more about emotional intelligence, become a more emotionally intelligent person. Hmm. There's probably like books and shit online that I could look at. I'm planning on talking to some recruiters tomorrow, and I'm gonna be honest with them. Like, I'll be honest about my psych ward history, my history of suicidal ideation, or shit, I should fucking cut that shit out. Well, ideation. Um, no, I'll leave it in. It's just like a part of myself, but I mean, it's a true statement. the ideation. Oh, ever since I've gotten my new meds, my new antipsychotics, I think it's the antipsychotics that are doing it. I'm not sure if it's the antidepressant, because I'm on a serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor. I'm on an antipsychotic. Um, I'm on a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, and I'm on a muscle relaxant, which combats the side effects of the whatchamacallit, antipsychotic. Um, but I'm planning to go see a military recruiter tomorrow, and I'm gonna be honest with them about the medicines that I'm taking, my history of psych wards, um, shit like that. I'll be honest with them about that, just because I don't feel like getting sent to the brig. I don't even know if that's the name for the military prison, but like, I don't feel like getting sent to military prison. I was told by people that were in the military that if I lie, that I would lie to them at Mets. I would probably have to go there. So I don't feel like going to a military prison. So I'm not going to lie. Maybe I'll lie about some things, but most things I plan to tell the truth about. Most things. Mm. I've been having some good dreams. I can't remember what those dreams are, but I've been having some good dreams from what I can remember. Waking up feeling satisfied about my dreams. Whereas before I went to the psych ward, the last time I went to the psych ward, I had been having nightmares for weeks. But now I'm not having any nightmares. I had a nightmare the other day, but it wasn't that bad. So relatively I've been okay. But as far as the infatuation, I used to think, like I said before, that it was just an obsessive form of love that I felt to the point where I was thinking about someone all the time, from the moment I woke up to the moment I got to sleep. Which I'm honestly not even sure um, how people feel love, how love feels for other people. Um, it would definitely be interesting to compare my feelings, my emotions that I associate with infatuation, with what other people associate with infatuation, the feelings that other people associate with infatuation, and how other people express love. Just like comparing my emotional spectrum with other people in terms of love, infatuation, because what I think is infatuation and what I think is just like normal behavior might be completely in contrast with not in contrast, what would you say? It might be completely different than what other people think in terms of what love is, how love is felt by other people. Um, I would definitely like to know what other people feel when they're in love, because I would love to feel that if I could, some sort of love, and to know whether or not I do feel love in comparison to other people. But another thing with the infatuation is, I'll give you an example from my last psych ward. So I got into the psych ward on Saturday, and there was this girl that was in the waiting room. I assumed that she was in the juvenile section because I didn't see her with the adults, but like I kept staring at her. Well, I didn't stare at her. I just like I felt the like she didn't even really look up like really. How would you say? She wasn't really attractive in particular. Like I didn't see anything about her that really stood out to me. But just because she was a female presence, I felt kind of attached. Not really attached, but I definitely felt my focus was drawn to her. A part of me was being drawn to her. Like I wanted to look at her. I wanted to talk to her. Even though I'd never met her before, I just felt like being around her. I don't know if that's an extension of my sexuality or what, but I feel like normally someone wouldn't have that sort of drive. I feel like that sort of drive really shouldn't be there. And it's not like I was having sexual thoughts about her. It's just that I don't know. Just I felt such like an intrusive sense of wanting to be around her, wanting to regard her. And I felt that way about women when I got onto the psych ward as well. There was this girl with red hair that really stood out to me, and this other there were two girls with red hair that really stood out to me. That I focused on to some extent when I was in the psych ward. But I mean, it's not like I don't know. I find it strange that I get so pulled towards these people that I really oh shit trying to silence me. I find it strange that I'm so drawn to people, and when I say drawn, like it was the exact same thing of like feeling like my focus was being drawn towards that girl that I was talking about. These women that I'm talking about, like my focus was drawn towards them. I had an experience where I was like, I like developed feelings for this one person, but then as I got to know them, there was this other guy that apparently had feelings for her and told her about it. So when I heard that, I just like immediately dropped my feeling. Like my feelings just like went away immediately, and I guess that's a sign that well, I barely even knew her. So definitely it was some level of infatuation. That infatuation just happens naturally when I'm around certain people. I tell myself when I'm in times like this, hey fly. I tell myself in times like this that I shouldn't become so infatuated with other people. And even if I am infatuated with other people, that I shouldn't let it take control of my sensibilities. But it's just something that happens naturally. And maybe through therapy, I'll be able to knock that sort of thing. But right now, I don't have a therapist. Well, I am going to. Well, that's another thing. I am going to group therapy, but yet, I forgot to call them a few days ago when I skipped out. So I might be kicked out because you're supposed to call them if you're going to have an absence. So I might be kicked out. They moved me to IOP because my insurance ran out. So I wasn't able to get, I wasn't eligible for PHP services anymore. So they moved me to intensive outpatient program, which I think will be okay. It's like before it was like 9 a.m. to 2:45 p.m. But now it's 9 a.m. to noon. It's about 3 hours. Overall, though, hmm, even if I lost it because I didn't call that day, didn't show up that day, because you're supposed to call ahead if you're gonna have an absence, I think. But even if I did lose it, I still have a local community a case manager that I can definitely talk to about my emotions, about my feelings. It's not the same as a licensed professional counselor, LPC. Is that what that stands for, LPC? I'm not sure. It's not the same as a therapist, but I mean, I definitely can work on things with my case manager. Hmm. I know I said I was going to read. If you look at my last description, my if you look at the description of my last video, I told I wrote down in the description that I was going to read a bunch of books, and I left a list of books in the description. 48 Laws of Power. I think I put Art of War in there, but I'm not sure. U.S. Constitution. Different historical documents, and like philosophy guides. Industrial society and its future. But I haven't gotten around to reading anything. What I've been doing is I've been watching The Sopranos. I'm on season 4 right now. Oh, what's happening at The Sopranos right now? Jackie Jr. just died last season. Meadow is on her way to college. No, I'm not on her way to college. She's planning on taking a year off and touring Europe. But I don't think she ever ended up doing that. I think she went back to college. I remember her working for I think she was like a social worker, but I haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm at the point where she's kind of depressed at home. Her parents are getting after her. Um, which I mean, I think they should be more fucking considerate of her feelings, because I mean, she lost her ex boyfriend, Jackie Jr. Uh, I don't know how I would feel if that happened to me. If I was in her shoes, I would probably be fucking depressed as shit as well. That and she's definitely a more empathetic, caring person when it comes to like social issues, whereas I really don't give a fuck what happens. Environmentalism. I mean, I don't litter. I don't litter in this place. I look down on littering. Um, and I would definitely like to see less carbon emissions. But overall, I don't really give a fuck. It is what it is. But yeah, I would definitely like to know, and I guess that's something I'll talk to a therapist about, or not my therapist, but my case manager. Well, I don't even know if she can help with that kind of thing. I might have to get a therapist for it, like determining whether or not I can feel the emotion of love. Well, I guess it's less of like, it doesn't really matter whether or not I can feel the emotion of love. What matters is my ability to integrate myself within society, my ability to communicate with other people, emotionally like vibe with other people in the way that is like harmonious. Like I don't want to have like conflict. I don't want myself to conflict with other people, have conflict with other people. I'd rather just have a peaceful, harmonious life, if possible. Whether or not I have a predisposition to being infatuated with other people doesn't mean that I can't work on my ability to love other people. Like, even if I don't feel it, I can show it. Like, fake it till you make it kind of shit. Learn more about love, how people express it, and then apply that to my own actions. Cater my actions altruistically to the benefit of other people. Definitely something I could do. I say I could do that. Oh, I was talking about those books, but I say I could do that, but it's probably going to take a long time for me to actually be able to express love towards other people. Maybe, maybe not like a close interpersonal love, like platonic love. Like I can try to do that with people I think I'm close to, but also like cultivate a sense of like universal love and selflessness, like in the fucking Hindu sense, I guess. See the one I love in everyone around me to the point where I'm able to treat other people the way that I want to be treated. Well, it's like you gotta treat yourself the way you want to be treated. If you don't treat yourself right, you're not able to treat anyone else right as well. Hmm. Empty. Gonna get more water. There's that dog smelling the door, sniffing at the door. I'll go play with him after this. But do I have anything else to say? I would like to learn more about love in order to, if not feel, then at least apply loving behavior, love language to my life. I guess my love language right now is like giving people gifts, but I don't have any money right now, so I'm not able to gift anyone anything really. Once I do get a source of income, either by getting a job or going into the military, then I'll be able to gift people. But I'd also like to stay away from people for a while and build up some sort of emotional fortification, just so I don't hurt myself the way I usually do hurt myself when I do become infatuated with other people, when I do fall in love with other people. If it is love, I guess I need help. I need help distinguishing between infatuation and love. Love is more like a long term emotion. It takes a while to love someone, whereas infatuation is a more short term emotion based on the need for sentimentality, the need for connection, romantic connection, sensuality, sexuality. That's that's what infatuation is based off of. Infatuation is more short term, whereas love is more like long term. I'm not saying you can't be infatuated with someone for a long period of time. It's just like love itself tends to be more long term than infatuation. I think that might be why the divorce rate is so high now. Well, one, because it's less strict. Like you marry someone and you can just easily get a divorce, whereas like previously with marriage, it was like a lifelong, long-term commitment in the Catholic sense. Like you marry someone and then you're with them till fucking death do you part, unless they're like really, really abusive. But like I've heard of cases where like the husband was abusive and the Catholic Church still didn't give the okay to like have a divorce. But now that tradition is more lax. That tradition is more lax, and what I feel is like people are more marrying each other based on infatuation rather than love. So the divorce rate is going up. Well, I'm not okay. I'm not sure if it's because of like that drive of infatuation that's driving fucking divorce way up, or if it's like that dismantling of tradition. Which I'm not saying that like the loss of tradition is like it's a neutral thing. It's a neutral thing because there's always going to be tradition, even if tradition is discarded right now. It'll be replaced by something else. It's not like we don't like we're like humans are very cultured people. We like do things with a passion, connecting it to our past ties, symbolism and shit like that. So I don't think tradition is going to go anywhere If anything, maybe old traditions will fade away, but new traditions will definitely be built up over time, I feel. And I definitely need to read. I need to read something. But yet, I've been, like I said, watching Sopranos. I'm on season 4, episode 1, and playing Duolingo, messing with German, Spanish. One motivation I have for learning Spanish is being able to communicate with my relatives in their native language, which is Spanish. That's a motivation of mine to be able to learn. So my motivation for learning the language, one of my motivations for learning the language, is being able to communicate with relatives who speak Spanish natively as their first language. I hope my voice isn't very like my manner of speech isn't very like fucking stilted. And I know I'm using a lot of like sophisticated. Well, I wouldn't really say sophisticated at all. I don't even know what the people tell me that like I don't know the language that I use. I hope it isn't. I hope that my diction, my use of words, my verbiage is fine for the average viewer. Hope so. But I would definitely like it if my sense of infatuation was dulled to the point where I didn't like get infatuated with like every girl I met, which it's not like every girl, but it's like every other woman I have the tendency towards infatuation for them, and my instincts, not my instincts, but my actions are guided by that infatuation. I'd like it more if my actions weren't so guided by that sense of infatuation that I mentioned. Because if I let my actions be guided by infatuation, then I usually end up with a ruined relationship, ruined friendship, ruined connection. And I don't like it when my connections are ruined. I would rather have a of friends, close network of friends that I can talk to, that I can hang out with without fear of abandonment or anything like that. Of course, I need to definitely work on myself, definitely work on getting my shit together, but I'm doing it one step at a time, one step at a time. But I'm kind of like I want to make room in my life for reading things. My two top choices right now of things I want to read are The Art of War by Sun Tzu, because Tony read it in the Sopranos, Art of War by Sun Tzu, and The 48 Laws of Power. I can't remember who wrote 48 Laws of Power, but I'm pretty sure it's like available online for free. So I'll definitely get into reading that soon. I need to make like a schedule of things to do. Schedule shit. So I'm able to do a lot of things without having any sort of like conflict. Maybe I could do like 2 hours of doing a language on Duolingo a day and then read for like 6 hours. I really don't know. See, if I get a job, it'll probably be like an 8 or 9 hour shift. So that takes up a part of my day. Is there anything else I have to say? Um, I like Furio, Meadow. I like all the characters in The Sopranos. My favorite character used to be Bobby. I'd say now my favorite character is I like Polly. I like Polly. I don't know. Do I have anything else of interest to say? Not really. I just want things to go well. So what's the recap here? Recap. I have a lot of infatuation. I want to be able to distinguish. Okay, no, 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 no. I have a lot of infatuation. I don't want my infatuation to control me anymore. I'm going to see a recruiter maybe tomorrow or soon. See a military recruiter soon. I might be kicked out of PHP, IOP, group therapy. Might be kicked out. Might have gone to IOP. There's that. I want to make room for reading. So that's five things. Yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching. Take care of yourself and have a great day. Have a great week. Take care. Bye bye.